Today's class is going to be about coordination, and coordination's a little bit about balance, and it's about connecting the brain, the muscles, the eyes to things going on in the body. So if your coordination is a little bit challenged, then please stand close to something that you can hold on to and just ease into this. And the things you'll need possibly are blocks, maybe a blanket, maybe a pillow, not a whole lot else, and obviously a mat. Since we're doing some standing postures, I prefer you be barefoot for the standing postures. It's a little safer unless you have sneakers, but then sneakers you can't feel your feet very well. So just be safe. That's the most important thing. Be safe and be mindful. Let's go ahead and start by shifting our weight side to side, side to side. Just notice how you're feeling. Sense your body. And a great way to sense your body is to close your eyes if you feel safe to do so, and just sense it from the inside. Sense what you're feeling on the ground. Sense the space around you. See if you can sense where you are in your room. Using internal senses, your navigation from inside. And then when you're ready, go ahead and stop wiggling around. I'm still moving gently like a pendulum until you come to what you feel is balance. Place your right hand on your heart, your left hand on your belly. The sea of tranquility and the sea of vitality. And breathe slowly and deeply to get yourself in a place to learn and to activate the brain. Extend your exhale out a little bit longer than your inhale. And breathe. Again, if you're safe to keep your eyes closed, you can. But if you're not, just look down. A soft gaze. So a lot of the movements we'll be doing today involve crossing the hemispheres of your brain. And the way we do that is by doing left with right quite a bit. So just take your right arm and your left knee. This is called the cross crawl. Very gently, don't overdo it. Doing the cross crawl. So notice how it's requiring coordination to get the elbow to the knee of opposite arms and legs. And if you go too fast, you won't be as coordinated, so slow it down. Take a moment and stop and see how this feels. Right hand on the heart, left hand on the belly again. Check in and just notice. Closing your eyes again is a great way to turn your senses inward. So between the asanas, go ahead and do that. So another really interesting, kind of fun way to do this is to take your right hand and grab your left ear, the earlobe. Do it gently, especially if you have earrings on. And your left hand and grab the right earlobe. So now our arms are crossed in front of our chest. See if you can put the tongue on the roof of the mouth, breathing in and out through the nose, and with your eyes open or closed, still visualize the third eye and begin to do gentle squats. Not deep squats, but gentle squats. This is activating our brain, and it's coordinating through connecting all these little inputs and outputs neurologically. This you could do maybe 10 to 12 times, as long as it doesn't hurt your knees. Be careful of your knees. All right, how are you feeling? Shake it out. Whew, that's a lot. It's a lot of coordination and a lot of it. I feel it in my brain, so I know my brain is getting activated. So the next one, I want you to take your right arm up, hand facing inward. Your eyes are looking at your hand. Allow your eyes to continue to look at your hand as your hand goes behind your back, going to the right, and then bring it forward. Place that down. Take your left hand up, hand facing in. Allow your eyes to follow. Bring it back and come down. Now, next time, do this without your eyes following. So just your arm goes, your eyes stay forward. And come back and down. Same thing on the other side. Draw it up. Come back and down. Next time, I want you to have your arm go behind as your eyes look the opposite way. And come down. So my arm is going to one side, my eyes are going to the other side. And down. And just notice how you feel. Shake things out. So the next posture would be a great posture to have a block, if you do have a block, or not a very sturdy book that you don't mind standing on. In this case, I want you to put the block on the outside of your left foot. I'm not going to be mirroring you, so it's going to look opposite of yours. Support your weight on that foot. And then take your other leg, cross it over, and place your toes on the block. So this is the start of eagle pose, Garudasana. And you have to pull everything in to feel strong and steady here. Now this may be your eagle pose, or you may try lifting the toes off the block and putting them down, lifting them off and putting them down. So with my right leg over, I'm going to put my right arm under. Either grab the shoulders, if I have shoulder issues, have the backs of the hands touch or the fronts of the hands touch. Now I'm in full eagle pose. I can take my foot off or not. Breathe, smile, and release. Whew. That's a big amount of coordination, all sorts of things going on. And the eagle pose also is about vision. So we're working on our vision when we do the eagle pose. Shift the block over to the other side. Now I am on my blanket. You probably don't want to be, but my mat's a little slippery today. So I decided to stay on my blanket. Feel the weight on the right foot. Your whole right leg is engaged. Cross that left leg over. Squeeze everything in. Pull in all of the energy toward the center of your body. So since the left leg is over, have the left arm under, either grabbing shoulders if you have shoulder problems, backs of hands, or fronts of hands. Again, eagle pose. You can take that foot off or leave it on. This is a great coordination and balance pose. Breathing, smiling, and let's go ahead and release it and shake it out. So I'd like for you to just walk around your room just for a second. This is kind of a fun thing we're going to do. We want to walk like a model. So what would a model walk like? So you can laugh at me as I do it. Right? Am I looking like a model? So a model tends to have opposite hip and shoulder. So it's like the right hip forward, the left shoulder back. The left hip forward, the right shoulder back. And so we're going to develop this a little bit more by isolating these muscles on our sides on the ground. So join me on the ground. I have a blanket cushioning my ground because I don't like the feel of a hard floor. And I even have something under my head. Okay. So laying on my side. Okay, stacking my legs. I want you to imagine, so my knees are stacked on top of each other too. I want you to slide the top leg, so in my case it's my left leg, forward towards you. And then back. So my hip is shifting forward. My hip is shifting back. It's a pretty small movement. I'm trying not to move other parts of my body. All right, so do that about 3 or 4 times. Let's do the same thing just with our shoulder. Shoulder shifting forward. I'm even turning my hand inside out. Shoulder twisting back a little bit. My hand opens to the sky. Going forward, going back. Now, this is where the coordination comes in. I want your hip to go forward as your shoulder goes back. Hip forward, shoulder back. Shoulder forward, hip back. Hip forward, shoulder back. Shoulder forward, hip back. So land on your back just for a moment in between the two sides, just to make sure that you are feeling the difference between your left and your right side body. So just notice any differences. And you might even just gently slide your head side to side to get any residual tension out. So when we do the other side, you're just going to face the other way. I'm going to turn myself completely around, so hopefully you can see me better. Let's go ahead and try the other side. So once again, you're going to lay on your side, stack your legs. And maneuver your hip first by sliding the one knee forward across the other knee, and then sliding that knee back, opening up the hip, sliding it forward, sliding it back, and third time, forward and back. Now let's do the shoulder by itself. Sliding the shoulder forward, sliding the shoulder back, shoulder forward, shoulder back. Last time. Now let's see if we can put it together. So my shoulder's back, my hip goes forward. My shoulder goes forward as my hip goes back. Don't do this big, do it small. You don't want to be too extreme about this. But you want to see if you can have the shoulder and the hip move separately as their own entity instead of connecting them together because we've lost coordination. Very nice. So let's go ahead and lay on our back again. All right, so notice how you're feeling. What's going on with those hips? What's going on with the shoulders? What are you sensing? So a really interesting way of coordinating movement involves a gentle somatic yoga twist that we're going to move our arms, our head, and our legs in different directions, almost like you're a little wind-up toy. So step 1, bend your elbows and put your hands facing forward but toward the sky. Step 2, allow the knees to fall off to the left. When the knees fall off to the left, look right. Come back to the center. Now let the knees fall off to the right. Look left. And back to the center. Now we're going to add the arm movement in it. So when the knees fall off to the left hand falls down above you with the hand facing the sky. The right hand goes down and you look right. And then your knees go off to the right. The right hand faces palm up to the sky. Left hand palm down to the ground. Look left. So again, your legs, your head, and your arms are all doing slightly different things. Now don't get frustrated about this if they don't want to coordinate this way. This is a practice, right? And a practice should be practiced. All right. Go ahead and draw knees into the chest. Notice how you're feeling. And then roll on quickly to hands and knees. We have 2 more of these little things to do. Okay. So from hands and knees, We're going back to this idea of crossing the hemispheres of the brain by drawing the right leg out as the left arm goes out. This is also a balance, and then bringing them in and then out. Let's do the other side. Left leg, right arm, bringing it in and out. And then you can repeat this one more time on each side, and then slowly push yourself down to a child's pose just to breathe here. And see how you're feeling. So we have one more way of doing a similar move like that for coordination, and that's on your backs. So come onto your backs. You might want something under your head or not. It can be small. You don't want a big thing under your head to crank your neck. So knees can be bent or legs can be straight. You decide. What we're going to do is we're going to have the right arm, elbow reaching for the left knee, and then bring it back. And then the left toward the right knee and back. So the breath count is inhale like this, exhale. Inhale, opposite elbow and knee, exhale. Let's do one more round. And last time. And then go ahead and maybe bring legs up into the air, do a happy baby, or just move your legs around in some way that feels nourishing. And settle yourself down on your back or in a seated meditation pose. You decide what you prefer for our rest. I hope you enjoyed this class. So we didn't walk after we did that shoulder and hip release. So I'm hoping you're all going to walk around your house and your neighborhoods like a model after you're done and see if you can coordinate the movement of the shoulder and the hip. So the bowl will signal our rest period. I'll read a poem. I'll signal you out of it and then send you on your way. This is a poem by Donna Falls, Yoga. Yoga is not about the pose. It's not the alignment of toes or hips or shoulders. It's not about the form. Yoga is an invitation to explore, not a command performance. It speaks the language of the soul. In the flow of breath and motion, yoga coaxes us from the confines of the known across the silent threshold into vastness. Breathe, relax, and feel the body receive its own truth. The seed of freedom flowers within each of us whenever we are open to what's real. So very gently, if you are laying down, make your way up to seated. If you are seated, gather in anything that spoke to you in this class and bring your hands towards your heart. And let's say namaste